music, that's always good. So then, that's all that. So we figured out what that is, okay? Now we're gonna make our own custom method. Public void, calculate. Okay. So we'll go up here, we'll create integer, we'll create int 1 equals new, or not new. We don't need a new for an integer, I'm just gonna say 25. Int 2 equals 50. Okay, just gonna do that. Now what we're gonna do is int total. Yeah, we're gonna do int total equals int 1 plus int 2. Okay, so now we're gonna do system.out.println, and we're gonna output total. Okay, this is all well and good, but if you watch, it's not going to do anything because the constructor isn't called. We could, I think, not sure if this would actually work. Haven't really tried this. Yeah, that won't work. So, yeah, you gotta make your constructor. Now, it doesn't work because even though Java reads from top to bottom, it doesn't do anything about this because it's not used, it's not called, it's like, it's just not used. So, we put calculate in here. What this means is that it'll read it. Oh, hey, look, integers. This is an integer called int 1, it's equal to 25. This is an integer called int 2, which is value 50. Oh, look, we have the constructor of class 1. Okay, it's a method. And in this method, it's calling another method. Okay, look, I found this method. I'm gonna try and figure out where the actual method is. Okay, I found calculate. That's awesome. So I'm gonna read the code. It creates a new integer called total, which is equal to int 1 plus int 2. Okay, int 1 is 25, int 2 is 50. So then it'll do that, which is equal to 75. Then it's like, okay, I'm gonna output the total, which is equal to this. So I'll go back to this. Okay, there's no more code. So I'm gonna continue down. Okay, I already looked at this. I already checked out what it does. So, oh look, it's a main. I can start the program now. I'm gonna go ahead and look into this. Oh look, I'm gonna create a new class 1, the constructor of this class. Okay. So in this, it calls calculate, and it's gonna just do that. So then if I go ahead and click play, 75, because it reads from this. Okay, I'm gonna start from top to bottom again. I'm sure this is way redundant, and I'm just trying to stretch video time, but okay, whatever. So in the launcher for the program, you have it calls for class. Okay, it finds class. In class, it calls calculate. Calculate makes an integer called total, which is int 1 plus int 2. Then it outputs this. Okay, so when it goes back to here, it says, okay, calculate does this. Okay, now we'll go over here. It calls this, and it runs the program. That's it. So that is a method. Okay, just like a normal custom main method. Now, what I'm going to talk to you about is arguments. Okay, this would count as an argument. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that. I have no idea what exactly that stands for. I know it's a string array about arguments. Not sure what the arguments are, but int 1, int first, int second. This creates two integers called first and second. Okay, what this means. Hold on. Out.println. Just follow along with me here, okay? Just absorb the knowledge. I'm rambling at you. What this means is that it creates an int called first. It doesn't have a value. It creates an int called second. It doesn't have a value. So what it is when you call your class, you give it their values. Int 1, int 2, okay? What this means is that it creates it, okay? int first is equal to int1, okay? It's calling it, so I'm horrible at explaining this, so just, try and piece together what I'm saying. So, an int called first. It is called first inside of this method. You cannot use first anywhere else. Like, you can't go here and say first plus second. Okay, this is just for in this method. So, int total would be equal to first plus second, okay? Int first is called in this, which is called int1. Int1 is equal to 25, so int first is equal to 25. You'd have int second, which is equal to int2, which is equal to 50, so int second is equal to 50. Int total equals first plus second. First is equal to 25, second is equal to 50. So now it'd be 75, then now print total. Let's check how this goes. 75, I can now turn this into 75. And second is equal to int2, which is equal to 75, so 100. Turn this back into 50. Clear the console. This is particularly useful for if you're doing input, okay? Now, I think I'm going to cut my video over in 4 minutes, which would make it 25, which would be good. Because I know for a fact I don't have over 30 minutes of time allowed, so just gonna, go from there. Just love soda. So, that's it. Basically for methods. You know what? I forgot to show you the differences between public and private. Okay? You're probably wondering about the public-private. It's like, oh, hey, it's public. Wonder what that means, What public means is that... How am I going to explain this? I'm going to explain this through Paint. As soon as it feels like opening, okay? So, int1, okay? int2, class 1, class 2, total. Okay, this ought to work, okay? Let's call these public for now, okay? They're public, okay? That means that class 2 can use it. It's a two-way street, okay? It's like, oh, hey, we're public, come on in, okay? You. Just get rid of that. And now this would be private, PR. That means it's like, oh no, I can't get past, okay? It can only be used inside of this class, okay? So if you try and do like total is equal to int, yeah, just total is equal to int1, that will not work because it can only be used in this class. It's like, oh, hey, it's like class 1 is like, hey, class 2, can I use total? And it's like, oh no, sorry, but I'm sort of using it myself here. It's private, just make do with your own stuff. So, public can be used in any class. Private means it can only be used in the class that it's made in. Okay. So, for example, I'm going to create a new class. This class 2. This will, solidify the understanding. Now, what I'm going to do here, class 2 equals new class 2. Think of it as a variable. You've got int 2, I've got class 2, okay? It's making a new class 2 called class 2, okay? So then, what I would do here is private total is equal to 0, maybe. Oh, private int. Okay, so now, for this, we would have, if I just want to do this from here, class 2 dot, what this means is inside class 2, there is a value, called total, okay? Let's see why it won't work. The class underscore 2 dot total is not visible It's private. It does not want to leave the class 2 class. Okay? So you cannot use it now. I change it to public. It's fine because, you know, everyone can see it. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to cut this, like, real soon. I already went over my 25 minutes. So, yeah, that's what public and private is. For example, if I call this private and try to use it in class 2, it won't work because only class 1 can see it. So I'm gonna change this back, int, and there we go. I covered variables, I covered methods, the class, I covered public, private, methods, arguments. Um, let's see. I think that's about it for episode 1/2. So, like, comment, subscribe, you know, tell me what you want to know, because otherwise I'm just going to be rambling on forever. I actually need, like, stuff to talk about. I can't just say, oh, hey, I'm going to talk about this on, like, my little check box to-do list that I've got, like, right here next to my monitor. But, I need to know what you want to know, so, yeah. So just go ahead, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next episode.